Hello everyone, my name is Piyush and today I'll show you how you can host your LAMP stack on an AWS LightSail server with load balancers and SSL enabled. So without wasting any time further, let's get into it. Okay, so as part of this demo, we'll be creating two LightSail instance, one load balancer and certificate to be installed on top of load balancer. Okay, so I'm logged into my LightSail account over here. So we go to the instances section and we click on create instance. We'll keep the region and availability zone as default because this is the closest AZ near to me. We'll keep the platform as Linux. Apps and OS, I'll select the LAMP stack because this is what we are aiming for. So here we'll add one launch script as well. So launch script is like a user data script that we used as part of EC2. And over here we could write our code like in Unix shell script, which would auto run once the instance is booted up, so that you don't have to do some pre-configured installation and it will be there for you as soon as the instance is up. Okay, so if you can go to this URL over here, don't worry about it. I'll provide the URL in the description section below. So this is like a tutorial to launch a web app with the help of LightSail. Okay, so we have followed all the steps till now. The next step is to run this script. So what this script will do is, first it will go to the default Bitnami root directory, which is this one. It will delete the existing contents from it. Then it will clone the Git repository, which has the sample code, sample website code. Then it will change the user and group of this particular file. So this file will have the database connection string. Then it will provide 666 permission to this particular file. Then it will inject the password into this file, and then it will create the database with user as root and password is whatever we have injected within this file. Okay, so it looks good, but there's a caveat to it. So there is like we are using git clone over here, but it's missing the step of git installation. And if you run this script as it is, it will fail for sure, because by default LAMP stack image within LightSail, it doesn't have git installed. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll copy this script from here. Okay, I'll paste it over here, and just before the git clone repo, I'll add one more command to it, which is sudo apt-get install git -y. This is really important, guys, because if you don't install the git, the next command will fail and all the subsequent command will fail. Okay, so make sure you write this command. Also, one more thing, you won't be able to provide the permission if you don't have the root privileges. So make sure you add sudo before these two commands and you should be good. Okay, so one more time, you can copy the script directly from here. Okay, from this particular website. Link is there in the description section, and you have to append the git installation command just before this command, git clone command. Okay, and you also have to add the sudo in front of these two commands. That's it. Okay, I'll use the default key pair to log in, and then I'll use this this LightSail instance, which is $3.5 per month. It will provide me enough resources to host my website for now. Okay, I'll give this instance a name. Let's say web app, and because I'm planning to place this website behind a load balancer, so I'll create two instances. So when I do this, using all the details above that we have placed, it will create identical copies. So two identical instances will be created for us, and that's it. We hit on create instance. Okay, now it will take like a couple of minutes once these instances are up. So I'll pause the video for 2 minutes and then I'll come back to see the next steps. Okay, so I've waited for roughly about 2 minutes and I see both my instances are up. So I gave the name as web app, and so it automatically appended the sequence to it. So web app 1, web app 2, and these two are in running status. So let's see if we are able to log into the server. So we click on that. So there are two options. One is connect using SSH client or connect using the browser itself. So we'll use the browser as the simplest one. You just have to click and that's it. It will log you in. Okay, it'll just okay, so it says the instance has just started up, try in a minute or two. Okay, so we'll wait for like 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start it. Okay, so I'm trying to connect it now again after 1 or 2 minutes and it logged me in. So remember we used a user script section while provisioning the instance, so that might be running in the background. That's why it was taking time to boot up. So now that it is up, we could go to var log. Okay, here we can see if our user scripts ran successfully or not. So these are the two log files that we'll look into. First is cloud-init.log, and if we go down, it says handler success. I don't see any error in that. Looks good. Okay, let's go to the other one, which is cloud-init output. Okay, so over here as well we see, okay, I'll just maximize the screen. Okay, so over here we see these are the command that run as part of the user script. Okay, it says here the git was installed successfully, and then the rest of the commands cloning into this directory. I don't see any error, so we should be good. So let's inspect if it downloaded the code to the right directory. So we'll go to the root object page, which is opt bitnami apache 2 and then htdocs. This should be the one, and we see our code is here. We see this connect values.php is also here, and the user and the group was already replaced. So our user script was ran successfully. So it should be the same for the second server as well. So what we can do is we can just copy the public IP of this server and try to log in. Okay, so our sample code is up. We can see our PHP website over here, the sample website that we downloaded. Okay, so now it's showing front end host IP is this, which is our private IP 172.26.10.93. Okay, and if we see the second instance, which is this one, so I'll just copy the public IP from it as well. Okay, and this is also up with the same code, but the IP is different. So this would be the private IP of the second instance. Perfect. So we have both of our instances up and running. Our sample code is up. Now the next step is to create a load balancer and put both of these servers behind the load balancer. Okay, so we'll go over here. We'll go to the home page. We'll go to networking, and there's an option of creating a load balancer. Click on that. Okay, by default, it's serving traffic on port 80, and HTTPS is not enabled by default, so we have to enable it explicitly. I'll walk you through the steps. Okay, I'll give it a unique name. Say my first load balancer. Okay, please keep this in mind. The load balancer will cost you around $18 per month. Okay, so if you are using just for the experimental purpose, I suggest to avoid this, but it's up to you. Okay, click on create load balancer. Okay, now we can select the instance, we can attach the instance to it. So there are not so these two instances are available that we can attach to this load balancer. So I click on this one, attach. Okay, and then I'll attach another one as well using the same. Okay, where is, okay, and this one is also attached. Now it will be doing the health checks. So this is our load balancer URL. We open this one. Okay, it's currently, because it's currently been deployed, it's not been deployed properly, so we'll give it a minute or two. The instances are still in the attaching stage. Okay, so I'll pause the video for a couple of minutes and then we'll come back. So I've waited for another couple of minutes and I see the instances are in attached status now. you can see the health checks are passed. That means the load balancer, how does it do the health check? It tries to ping the server on port 80, and as long as it's getting response from the server, the health check will be in pass status, and that's it. And then once the health check is in pass, it will attach those two servers with it itself. So I'll click on the DNS URL over here, and you see my website is now up behind this load balancer. How do we know that it's redirecting traffic to both the instances? So we'll refresh the page, and you see the front end IP is getting changed. That means it's now on host 2, and when we refresh it, the IP is changed. That means it's now the traffic is now redirected to host 1. That means it's working fine, it's working as expected. We don't have to worry about anything. The next step is we have to enable HTTPS in front of load balancer, but before that we have to create a certificate. Okay, so we'll go to the inbound traffic section of the load balancer, click on create certificate. We give a domain name over here. So if you have a domain, you can enter it over here. For me, the domain is the officeguide.xyz. This is the domain that I own. Okay, and I can give some alternate domains as well. So I'll just put the officeguide.xyz. That's it. And click on create. Okay, so meanwhile, the certificate is in creation status. AWS is validating that we own this domain. So for that, what we have to do is we have to use these two CNAMEs and create two CNAME records in our Cloudflare or whatever DNS service you are using. I'm using Cloudflare, so I'll be adding these two in that, and then it will validate domain for us. In order to validate the certificate, I'll just go and log into my Cloudflare account, and this is the domain that I own. So I click on that and I go to DNS. Okay, so I see all my records over here. So what I have to do now, I have to create two CNAME records over here using these values. Okay, so I'll copy this one, click on add record. Record type should be CNAME. Okay, and make sure you delete extra host name from the URL. It should be ending with www. Okay, and I'll copy this one now. Oops, and over here I'll remove the extra dot and I'll change the status to DNS only. That's it. It should look like this. Okay, make sure you remove your domain from it and just keep the www. Okay, click on save. We'll do the same for the other CNAME as well. I'll copy this one, add record, record type CNAME, this one, and in this as well I have to remove my domain from the end. That's it. And I'll copy the value as well and remove dot from the end, change the proxy status to DNS and click on save. So now that we have sent a request to AWS that yes, we own this domain, and here are the proofs for that. So it will check, it will keep validating, it will check for a few minutes, and we'll come back again after a few minutes and we'll see, and the status should be successful or deployed. So I have waited for roughly 3-4 minutes, and I see the status is valid. It's not in use because we haven't attached it to our load balancer yet, but it is valid. We can expand this one, show details. Will show you these two domains are covered. These are important dates and encryption, identification, and other details. Okay, what we'll do is we have to attach it to the load balancer. So we click on this. Okay, now it's attached, and that's it. We go to our target instance. We see health checks are passed. So to make our connection secured with HTTPS, we have to do some changes, some configuration changes on the server itself. I'll show you how. So we just have to visit this URL. I'll provide this URL as well in the description section, and we have to just follow the article over here. Okay, so go to our server. First, what we have to do is we have to create a health check file which would do the health check for us, because currently it's only doing the health check on port 80, but now we have to enable the health check on port 443, which is HTTPS. We'll go to our first instance. We have to do the same changes in both the instance. So I'll just log into the first instance. I'm logged in now. I'll go to this particular directory, which is where it is. Okay, this one over here. Okay, and I'll paste it. So there be a file bitnam.conf. I'll take a backup of it. bitnam.conf underscore backup. Okay. Now I'll open the file bitnami.conf. Okay. And the next step is, okay, before that we have to follow this step, but we can do it afterwards as well. So I'm just doing this step for now. Okay, so added the file and add these conditions within the file itself. Okay, so I'll do this. So inside this virtual host over here, I'll just add whatever I have copied. Okay, which is rewrite engine is on. Rewrite condition is HTTPX forwarded to HTTPS. This is our health check file that we'll be creating now. And then rewrite rule HTTPS, and the success code is 301. So by default success code is 200, and if it because we are doing a URL redirection from HTTP to HTTPS, if it doesn't get success code 200, it will fail. So we have to explicitly mention the URL over here. That's it. I'll click on save. Okay, and after that we have to restart Apache using this command. Restarted, and then I'll go and do this step. Go to this instance, target instance, customize health check. Okay, write text.txt in the box. So if I go over here, first load balancer, okay, over here I'll see customize health checks. So I'll just write text test.txt, click on save. Okay, so it will be now doing health check on this particular file. Now I have to create this file on the server. So I'll just quickly create a file which says test.txt. I'll provide it the permission, and basically that's it. So I'll just do the same step on the other server, which is web app 2. I'll go to the root directory, opt bitnami apache 2, and then htdocs. Okay, oh no, it should be conf, and then I'll take conf bitnami. I'll take the backup of bitnami.conf, bitnami.conf underscore pkp. I'll add the same details over here as well. Oops, not this one. I'll just copy it again. Okay, and that's it. I'll save it. I'll create one more file as well to apache 2 htdocs. Over here, touch test.txt. I'll provide the permissions, and I have to restart Apache with this command over here. Apache is restarted. Let's see if it made any changes. We'll go to the load balancer, networking, and it says it's failing health check because we just created the file. So it will take a couple of minutes and then it should be passed. I'll visit the URL. URL is working fine, but still not. I still don't see it as secured. Okay, so I'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll check back again. Okay, so I've waited for another 15 minutes or so, and I see the health checks are now passed. But if we go to the load balancer DNS over here, click a refresh, still see it as non-secured. So the reason behind that is the certificate that we have created. We have created it on top of our domain, not the load balancer's domain. So what we gotta do is we have to add this DNS as the target in our Cloudflare. Okay, so we'll click CNAME record over here. We'll give it a name root with the target as the load balancers DNS. So make sure you remove the extra irrelevant field from it, which is okay, it doesn't have HTTPS, so this should be good. Okay, and I'll create one more record for www domain. Okay, that's it. So we have redirected our traffic of this particular domain to our load balancer URL. So if we visit our theofficeguy.xyz, okay, now we see we are able to visit the URL and the connection is secured with HTTPS. If we hit refresh, IP is getting changed. That means the load balancer is also working fine. Okay, so this is what we were trying to do. So to do a quick recap, just make sure that for the load balancer, we have created a test.txt file over here, opt bitnami apache 2 htdocs, and then also we have updated the bitnami.conf file over here in this path, opt bitnami apache 2 conf bitnami. In this we added 4 lines so that the success code is updated from 200 to 301 for the redirection that we did from HTTP to HTTPS, and also it'll enable the health checks for HTTPS. So that's it for this. We see health checks are passed, traffic is getting redirected to the load balancers, and we are able to access our website on a particular URL on a domain as well. If you have followed all the steps till now, then your website should be up and running without any issues. But if you have any doubts or if you are facing any problems, feel free to leave the same in the comment section and I'll be try to help you out as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching the video. Also, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do so and click the bell icon to get notified about all my upcoming videos. Thank you and have a good day. Bye bye.